What is going on, Gooey Gang? Welcome back to the channel. I got a little special message for you tonight. It is to do that scary thing, whatever it is for you, whatever it is that is kind of been blocking you from reaching that next level in your life, or from you having that breakthrough. Dude, I'm getting my words twisted right now. Your breakthrough, right? Do that scary thing. Today I found myself. Not only, actually, I kind of want to dive into two different things. I'll tie it in together. But first thing, being still, right? Like the state of being still and not doing anything, right? This can come from literally, like, this could stem from just fear and comfortability, right? Earlier today, I found myself like stuck just in my room. I was just like in the middle of editing and stuff, but I got to a point where I kind of just started like mindlessly self-comparing myself to other things I was seeing on social media. And it's crazy too, right? Because I never go on my phone like ever like that. Like I don't like get stuck on my phone like scrolling. But because I've had such a fresh start, like I've sort of hit the reset button on all my content. It's like I'm starting from scratch. I'm starting from ground zero. Today I was kind of looking at my old stuff and I was just like, what was it that was getting me views and like getting me like all this and that before, you know? Like I was so fixated on that earlier today, and I was dwelling essentially like on the past. I was dwelling on what I once was, right? When realistically, like all the stuff I used to be doing, it was easy views, right? It was because it was of the world. It was just like things I was doing to put myself out there to just get laughs and likes, you know what I mean? Like it's so simple to be a jester, to just be entertainment for people, right? And now that I'm going down a different road, now that I'm leading my life through Jesus, and now that I'm leading with purpose, now that I'm leading, trying to inspire and motivate, right? Like I've hit the reset button. It's like the stuff that I was doing before, like it's complete opposite, you know what I mean? And because of that, you know, obviously the fan base that I had amassed in this time frame over the past few years, right? It's like you do a complete 180. All these people know you for this, and then you're doing this now. They're like, well, I ain't messing with that. You know what I mean? So I really hit the reset button. And today I kind of found myself like, because I've been like trying to stay consistent and rebuilding essentially. And I was just dwelling, and I was like just stuck. I was literally just sitting right here, like looking at my old stuff, and I'm just like, oh man, look at my numbers, like what am I doing wrong now? Like beating myself up essentially, right? And here's the most dangerous part, right? Is self-comparison first of all, but being still and allowing fear to pour into you, right? Because when you're sitting still, when you're literally in one place just doing nothing, being glued to your phone or whatever it is, like it's so much easier for the enemy to pour into your head because you're still, like you're not doing anything. You're literally stuck in it's like you're in a cubicle, you know what I mean? Or you're like in a jail cell, and like whatever comes, you know what I mean? You're not doing much. And so I found myself getting extremely anxious, and I was realizing too, like I don't, like, you know how you do that thing with your knee, like, you know, like you're tapping it and stuff, or like you start picking your nails and stuff, like from clearly anxiety, right? I was doing that, and I didn't even realize I was doing it until like 10 minutes, 15 minutes had passed. I'm like, oh dang, I'm kind of tweaking right now. And what happened, like my anxiety was building up because here I am just sitting in the same spot dwelling, right? And now I'm beating myself up, and now the enemy's pouring into me. You're like, yep, you're not good enough. You're not going to be able to do what you did before. You should have kept doing what you were doing before. Like you're not going to be anything now, right? And I was genuinely believing it. And because I was in the same place, right, it was so much easier for me to just believe it, right? And so I had to get up. I literally had to get up. I had to leave my house. I had to go on a hike. I literally had to get out of the house because I was dwelling in my own thoughts. And I was just like, essentially, I was creating anxiety and fear from just being still, right? And of course, like this is the lesson, right? Like, first of all, don't be stuck in one position and scrolling, right? Because that's like a big no-no when it comes to trying to break free from your shell, right? Trying to break free from anxiety. That's the last thing that you want to do. And it's crazy too, because I don't ever do that. But today I found myself in the hole. You know what I mean? It was kind of just a reminder to me too. It's like, I'm not indestructible. You know what I mean? Like I preach a lot about not doing these certain things, but here I was today. Like, even though I did it for the first time in like however long, like it still happened. You know what I mean? And so, you know, it's not easy. You know, I understand that. And so I could just say, based off of my experience, like, don't sit in one spot, because that's where fear and anxiety dwells, right? And it's crazy because as I went on this hike, like, of course, like, just being outside in nature, like being able to reflect, being able to just breathe, I was just talking to God. Like, it was a lot easier for me to come, like, from out here, like, my mind is like running. I was able to bring it back in and find myself again. And it took a little while, you know, but I was able to do it. And the crazy things is, like, it kind of set me back. Like, I had anxiety for like the next hour or so. And it's wild. Like, anxiety will really do that to you, and being stuck in the same spot will really do that to you. So first part of the video, that is the message. Do not sit still and let your thoughts dwell, man. Like, when things start getting like wild and when your mind starts running, you got to get up. You literally just get up and do something, do anything. Take your mind off of being in the same spot, same position, because that is where you're vulnerable. That's where it's so easy for the enemy to attack you, especially like if you're isolated, right? If you're by yourself in your room, or if you're by yourself anywhere, right? It's so much easier because you got nothing else going. It's just you. It's just you. So let that be the first part of the video. This will tie into what I am getting at too. But second part, do not be afraid to take the uncomfortable steps, right? I also had another beautiful opportunity today to sort of get out of my comfort zone, sort of do something differently than I would, that I would like never normally do, right? This pertains to, I guess, a career. And it was one of those things where I was just like, wow, like, I could have never imagined myself here like 2 months ago, like, which is wild, which is mind boggling, because it so much can happen and so much can change when you're just completely surrendered to God and you give him control over everything, right? Like, I'm doing things right now that I could have never imagined myself doing. It's wild. And it's just a testament to how beautiful God is and what he can do in your life. But, right, I found myself in certain situations today that were like a little uncomfortable, right? Like, it was uncomfortable. Like, I had to put myself out there. I genuinely, like, if I didn't put myself out there, if I didn't make the effort to try and break free from my shell, then I would have just been the same thing that I was earlier, stuck, stagnant, like in the same position, isolated and to myself. I would have been in that mode where the anxiety and the fear would just constantly creep up and grow and grow and grow. It's like a cancer. Like, it starts off small, right? But you don't deal with it. You let it just sit there. It'll spread. It just goes from your chest, you know, to your arms, to your legs, and then sooner or later it gets to your head, you know? And so, yeah, I had a beautiful opportunity today to really just network and talk to people and really pick certain people's brains, you know what I mean? Like, it's really wild. It's really wild when you step out of that comfort zone, you know, and break free. And there was actually an incident too, or not an incident, but like a situation where there was somebody also there too who was, even though they had been there like longer or have been doing this certain thing like for a while now, you know, it was like they were a lot more shy and reserved and closed off than I was. So like, I was kind of giving them, I was just like, hey, like, it's cool. Like, you know, it was so crazy. It was like, I was telling them like, hey, you gotta be like uncomfortable in order to, you know, to grow, because comfortability keeps you stuck. It keeps you stagnant. It keeps you in the same place. You know what I mean? Like, there's no growth there when you're comfortable, because you're chilling, you're cruising. You're literally just like, oh, okay, everything's fine. Like, I'm good. Like, I don't really need much because everything's cool, you know? And I was literally telling this person, I'm just like, there is so much growth in that uncomfortability, right? Because in those moments in time, it's like you're being shaped. Like, you're being forced to get out of your comfort zone. You're anxious, you're overwhelmed, right? You don't want to do it. But like I said, it's in those moments you are literally like your character is being molded, like God is handcrafting you and preparing you for the next time you're going to be in a similar situation, right? It's like it's repetition, right? It starts off really hard with whatever it could be, and this could pertain to anything in life, right? A certain thing is going to start off extremely uncomfortable, right? But if you continue to keep doing it over and over and over and over again, what do you think will naturally happen? Do you think that it will just not go away? Do you think it'll be there forever? Or do you think at some moment in time, even if it's by a very, very minuscule amount, don't you think naturally, right? It's human nature that you'll slowly be able to get accustomed to whatever that thing is? Like, don't you think that just naturally, like, it will get easier, right? And it's so true, because repetition, man, repetition, experience, like putting yourself in those environments and stuff that allow you to grow, right? Like, I'll give another example. Like when I first started going to this church that I'm currently going to earlier this year, like I went in with my brother, and like I'd never really gone to church in my life before. And I was like afraid to like put up my hands. Like they were doing worship, and like I loved the music. I was like, man, this is hard. You know what I mean? But I was so like fixated on like, oh my God, is anybody looking? Like I was like afraid to like put my hands up and worship. And, I look back at it like literally earlier this year. It's July right now. This was like late January when I was doing that. I was afraid to like genuinely put my hands up. You know what I mean? But now like I'm going in and I'm like, I'm jumping off the walls. Like I'm jumping aisle to aisle. I'm in the front jumping. I'm getting jiggy, man. Like I'm doing my thing. You know what I mean? But this did not happen overnight. This was a constant repetition of me going to church in the uncomfortable environment, me slowly but surely, like raising my hands little by little, right? It started off like, and then the next time it was like, and then the next time it was like, and then the next time it was like, and then over time it's like, it turns into this. And then after that, it turns into, okay, bobbing my head a little bit. And then after time, it's like, okay. And then, like little by little, it's like, boom. And this is over like months. And then sooner or later, man, here I am like doing my thing. And like, on the altar, bro, like, it's crazy, bro. Like God really moves. But this can be with anything, you got to put repetition into uncomfortable situations because it'll help you grow, man. And these growing pains, are exactly where you want to be. If you're in a season where you genuinely have opportunity to do a bunch of uncomfortable things, like put yourself in uncomfortable environments, do it. Like literally do it. It's your opportunity to, like, God is literally holding it in front of you and being like, hey, you can really, really grow here internally and you can really change if you just do this, right? But what does the enemy do? The enemy tells you, that's not good for you, right? Because what do we do naturally as human beings, right? We feel the anxiety, we feel, right, overwhelmed in our head. We start believing these thoughts. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not in the place where I'm supposed to be. Oh my God, I'm anxious. I need to be by myself. I can't do this. I can't be here, right? And we believe it. And what we trust in our feelings over our faith, right? And when you trust in your feelings, what happens? Like whatever you're feeling, that's where you're gonna go along with. And here's the thing about feelings, right? They're constantly fluctuating. It's literally a roller coaster. You can be sad in the morning, and by lunchtime you can be angry, and then at nighttime when you're going to bed you can be happy. It's a constant changing thing of emotions. That's why we had to learn to separate our feelings from what our reality is, because if you're not, then you're literally just going to do things based off of how you feel. And the truth is, you're never going to really feel like doing what you want to do, or you're never going to really feel like doing those uncomfortable things. You're not, right? Do you think that some of the people that you look up to, whether it be an artist or whether it be a celebrity, an actor, whatever, do you think that when these people first started doing the stuff that they were doing, do you think that they were comfortable doing these things? Do you think that they were extremely comfortable like doing it, or were they very uncomfortable but they just did it? Like they genuinely just did it. They put themselves out there, right? You see the finished product of what it is now, but you don't see the hundreds of hours that they put in being in uncomfortable situations where they felt anxious, but they just did it anyways, And there's so much truth in it, man, because I will say, like, this year I've had a lot of opportunities where I was genuinely just anxious, just genuinely like like extremely overthinking. I'm like, oh my God, like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And it's crazy too, because it's been a lot of things with church. Like the church has really pushed me to break out of my comfort zone. And that's why I'm so grateful to God, because it's like, dude, I've done so much internal growth just being in a church environment. Like, God is literally just sculpting me and building me up in the church. It's actually wild. But yeah, let that intertwine with the first message, man. Do not sit still and dwell in fear, and do the uncomfortable thing, right? If you sit in the same spot and expect something to change, when you're dwelling on your feelings and your thoughts, nothing's going to change. I'll just be completely honest with you. I'll be 100 with you. I'll keep it a buck. Nothing is going to change. Now, I don't care what you are believing in here. Like, nothing's going to change. If you're sitting still, you're not doing anything, and you're just expecting things to change, it won't. And sooner or later, years are going to fly by, and you're going to wonder what happened. You're going to wonder, man, where did all the time go? Like, why did nothing happen, man? I was sitting here believing. I was very hopeful, but, like, what happened? It's going to fly like that. And the thing is that we are only on this planet for such a minute amount of time, man. You don't want to waste this opportunity that you have, truly. And it feels like it's a reoccurring theme on this channel, to make that a point. And it's so true, man, because just like scripture says, man, as the grass withers okay, I'm tripping. Okay, we're gonna have to look this up, okay? The phrase emphasizes the fleeting and impermanent nature of physical existence. Like grass and flowers, which wither and fade with time and weather, all things in the physical world are subject to decay and change. Just as we are, man. Just as we are. We are only here for such a limited amount of time, bruh. And just as the grass withers and the flowers fade, man, we will be gone like that. Regardless of how you could live to 120 years old, it's nothing in the grand scheme of things, man. You know what I mean? It's literally nothing in the grand scheme of things. Do not miss the forest for the trees, bro. Like, on everything. The bigger picture is you couldn't even understand, bro. Like, so stay grounded, man. Like, stay grounded and get to work, honestly. Like, let that be the message of this video, man. Don't sit still and don't be afraid, and get to work. You got to work in unison with these things, because essentially too with God, it's like you can't pray on these things and then just expect them to just change. You're going to have to meet God. You got to take advantage of the opportunities he's presented in front of you. You know what I mean? Because you got to remember, there's over 8 billion other people on the planet too, right? And they all have dreams and desires too. And there's also a ton of people praying at the same time too, you know what I mean? But you got to remember, there's people praying and putting in that work. You can't just pray and expect it to just fall into your lap. God wants you to put in the work. I believe that truly. But yeah, look, I pray, if there's something that is holding you back from taking that next step, that you're able to smash it. You're able to just break through it. You're able to just attack it and break free from the fear, man. I pray that if your mind has mental chains on it, if you literally feel stuck and trapped, I pray that you break free from it, I pray that in this time, your heart is open to letting God just do his thing, letting him cook, and letting go of the steering wheel, really letting him control. Because I'm telling you, like, just off of my experience, and it's crazy. Like, just off of my experience, I've literally let this man just do whatever. Like, look, God, put me wherever, God. Use me in whatever situation, environment you want me to, and do your thing, right? Every single time. He's put me exactly where I needed to be. Uncomfortable situations, comfortable situations. He's mixed me around everywhere. He's given me a taste of everything, but in every single specific, place he's put me, I've done growth, by just letting him. So let that be your message, man. Look, if I could do it, you can do it too. I don't see why nobody else could do this too. It's opportunities there. It's here for everybody. We just can't be afraid, man. Stop buying into what the enemy's telling you. Start buying into what God is telling you. Start buying into what the word is telling you. Get immersed in scripture. Remember that the word does not change. It's the same yesterday as it is today, as it will be tomorrow. It will never change. God never changes. But guess what changes? Our feelings. Our feelings change. So don't trust your feelings, trust your faith. But I love you, and stay gooeyes.